I'm 54 years old and I'm a full-time working musician. I quit corporate at 51, and for the past 3 years I've been building something that most people would probably look at and say, "What the fuck, man? You are crazy." And they'd probably be right. If you think that being successful means making a lot of money, doing shit that you hate, and lying to yourself about what being happy is all about, then you are part of a dying breed. And my hope for you is that you will see the light in your own way sometime soon. But if you think that being successful means waking up every day and choosing to do the work that you love while actually paying your bills and living a sustainable life, then yeah, I'm there as well. And I think that this channel may have something valuable for you. So let me show you what building a full-time music career in my 50s actually looks like. Real talk, always real talk. So what does full-time musician actually mean? Well, I'm still kind of figuring that out for myself, to be honest. But when I quit the 9-to-5, I was motivated as hell to play as many shows as possible. Because that first year of adjusting to the new salary, of making around 20% of what I used to, yeah, I just figured that I might as well be playing as many fucking gigs as possible. And so I started the journey of booking as many gigs as possible. I started playing solo gigs, duo acoustic gigs, trios, 4-piece rock band lineup, and eventually forming a 7-piece band for showcase performances. I hosted jam nights, I played private parties, and before long, I was well on my way to playing upwards of 200 shows a year. But here's the thing, I know a lot of people, especially my fellow musician buddies, who say, "Dude, that's awesome. You're fucking playing so many gigs. Good for you." And there was a time not so long ago when I would have totally agreed. But in the past couple of months, I've started to really think hard about increasing the quality of my shows rather than trying to keep up a marathon pace of low-paying gigs. There's this notion in business that if you double your price and you lose half your customers, what ends up happening is that you make the same money, but you gain a lot of free time. Entrepreneurship 101. So in 2026, that is precisely what my focus will be. And I've already started the process of dialing in opportunities with local municipalities and focusing on an EPK to shop for more lucrative, high-paying corporate gigs and private functions. After quitting the day job, it took me a little while to start feeling super comfortable with gig life. That first solo gig that I did back in 2022, returning to the live open stage after years confined to a self-inflicted, dreary cubicle. I was fucking nervous, but it didn't take too long, and now it's truly like riding a bike for me. I fucking love my job. I love what I do. Every single show is an opportunity for me to meet cool new people, connect with fans, and sing my heart out, leaving it all on stage, whether it's a packed house or an empty room. The stage is sacred, and I welcome every single opportunity to perform music in front of a live audience. But next year, we'll just do it for, slightly better money on occasion. So how did we get here in the first place? Sadly, I didn't wake up one morning and just decide to follow my dreams. No, not in the least. It all happened at the end of COVID, after working from home for almost 2 years and busting my ass for somebody else, for good money, but still busting my ass to further somebody else's vision instead of my own, putting all of my skills to task in order to keep a paycheck, and growing steadily more and more miserable at every single turn, every virtual meeting, every nonsensical email, every plot by slacker colleagues to make me responsible for their bullshit emergencies. I had had enough, and one day I just fucking snapped. I literally closed my laptop and I looked around my basement at my home office with guitars tucked away in cases, drums packed in a corner, gathering dust, studio gear unused and only on display to satisfy some unrealistic dream that I would maybe one day use them when I retired, miserable, unhappy, and barely still alive. I said, fuck it. And that day, I turned my basement man cave into what it was really supposed to be, my private home recording studio. I painted, I redecorated, I redesigned, I plugged in all of the gear. I took out all of the instruments, and I transformed my space into the studio I had always dreamed of. Live room, control room, sound room, my creative space, my LV studios. It took a few months for me to fully transition from being a corporate administrator to a full-time gigging musician. So many things had to change, and that's when I started playing solo shows. I was so nervous, putting callus back on the guitar hands, remembering how to sing at my full range again, spending show nights up until 3 a.m., learning about digital mixing gear. The analog days had long gone, and through it all, I was embracing discipline and freaking out a little bit. A lot, actually. But somehow, deep down, knowing all of it was right. One thing that helps almost more than anything else is a healthy lifestyle. I run 30 kilometers every single week. 3 days a week, I do 5K, 10K, and 15K respectively. And in my off days, I do full body weight workouts to target arms, legs, core, and increase my flexibility. I never miss a workout. Not because I'm some sort of fitness fanatic, but because energy matters more than talent. And I run like my life depends on it, because it does. And future me is constantly there in my head, shouting at me, reminding me that he needs me to always keep going. You can't perform a bunch of gigs every single week and be a full-time content creator working from the crack of dawn each day if your body is working against you. Healthy living brings peace of mind, mental clarity. It's an essential way to live for achieving maximum results. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline is the only mandatory ingredient for all of this, and keeping promises to yourself and to future you. Oh, the most important ingredient, of course, fucking coffee. So how about the economy of it all? What does this life actually cost? Well, I'm actually quite happy to share the details of that. And in fact, that is precisely the kind of content I have planned for a future video. Subscribe and hit the bell if you want to get notified about that. But let's keep it high level for now here. And let me talk a bit about the honest trade-offs. The greatest cost of all, by far, was giving up trying to please others. The moment I stopped caring what anybody thinks was the moment I became free. But it was fucking hard for me, truly hard. Because after spending a life of being a yes guy who would just do whatever I thought people expected of me, I finally grew a pair. And then I started to take charge of my life. And that is without a doubt the greatest cost. I mean, just a few years ago, I would have never imagined the idea of pursuing music full time. What would people think? How could I even afford it? It's just fucking ridiculous. You know what's ridiculous? Waking up each morning and thinking about jumping off the building that you work in every day rather than walking inside it just to suffer one more day of misery to keep other people happy and get a paycheck. Yeah. So after abandoning the need to please others and paying the emotional cost of finally taking full responsibility of my life, literally everything just fell into place. It was no longer even a question that I need to sing and perform music with passion. The next cost that I started paying, I would say, was having no days off. This is a classic price that most entrepreneurs pay, especially when you do something that you love. Why would you take a day off? It's only keeping you from making progress and getting to your next goal. Sleep is like an interruption. Spending time with friends, unnecessary distraction. Get me to that next objective. There's work to do, man. Being honest about what you love and eventually pursuing it means you will spend every waking moment thinking about how to further your dreams, your goals, and your future ambitions. So sometimes it could be hard to remember to get enough sleep, and sleep is a weapon. You got to remember that. But more importantly, it's hard sometimes to remember to take a break, a day, a week, sometimes even a month, to really let your mind catch up with your relentless ambition. So that's the next big cost, I would say, is having no days off. But it sure doesn't feel like a sacrifice when you love what you do. Mondays, Fridays, Sundays, they are all just super fucking exciting days for me, and that I consistently am grateful for, without exception. So waking up each morning, loving what I do, and spending nearly every waking moment thinking of ways to better myself and improve my life as a musician, a content creator, and entrepreneur. You might be curious to know how I feel about why music, why YouTube, and content creation. And truly for me, that is super easy. At least now it is. Because the music has just always been inside me. Ever since I was 5, I can remember hearing songs in my head, hearing parts for different instruments and vocal harmonies. I had no idea how to make the songs in real life, but I always knew the songs were just there in my mind. I would hear them. Now, navigating through life as a teenager, as a young man, and then a grown adult, all those years, the music was there. And there were years that I did perform in bands, but never really embracing the idea that music was my reason for being. The expectations of others were too powerful for me to ignore back then, and I wasn't brave enough to dismiss them. But thankfully, I found the courage in my midlife to embrace music and all that it truly means to me. Content creation is also something that I grew to realize was absolutely a passion of mine. But as social media has evolved, it took a few years for that too to really crystallize and become obvious that I am a storyteller and a bit of a geek, especially when it comes to recorded audio combined with video and all the beautiful things that come with that medium. It's only recently that I understood the importance of practicing my craft in terms of storytelling. I had never written a book or a play or anything of that scope, so writing scripts for long-form videos complete with a hook, talking points, plot twists, story arcs. I never understood how important all that stuff is. But now it's a part of the journey for me, and it drives me to do everything I can to do just a little bit better every time I design and produce a video. And hopefully one day I'll get it right. But even if I do, I'll just want to do better in the next one. Now that I finally know what success means to me, I'm genuinely content making just enough to get by, building a community of good folks just like yourself. And if you made it to this point of the video, then I know we are kindred spirits in some kind of a way. So I'm grateful for the opportunity to have connected with you like this through this crazy and beautiful medium that is YouTube. When used for the right purposes, social media is such an incredibly important tool for positive change. I truly believe that. So over the coming months, I'll be sharing new videos every single week, each one a deep dive into all of the various systems, economics, and behind the scenes reality of being a full-time working musician in my 50s. How I actually schedule so many shows each month without burning out, managing a roster of top-notch musicians and kick-ass session players, my fitness routine, the whole process, everything. And I'm documenting the evolution of this journey too. So in 2026, you're going to see me pivot from quantity to quality. And you'll see, along with me, what works and what really doesn't. There's going to be some blunders, but also great victories as well. And while you're here, I invite you to leave a comment below. Tell me something about yourself. And if you feel like it, share something that you'd like me to do a video about. I'll catch you in the next one.